Why do we grind for pixels? Why does losing a rank feel worse than losing a match in real life? Why does a little icon next to your username matter so much that you'll sacrifice sleep, skip meals, and endure toxic teammates just to see a change? It's because humans are wired for status. And ranked games have figured out how to hack that wiring better than almost anything else in modern life. Let me explain. For tens of thousands of years, status wasn't just nice to have, it was survival. If you were high status in your tribe, you got first pick of food. You had better protection from threats. You had access to the healthiest mates. Your children had better odds of surviving. Your brain evolved to obsess over status because status literally kept your genes in the game. The people who didn't care about their social standing, they got pushed to the margins, got fewer resources, and their lineage faded out. So evolution built this drive deep into your neural architecture. It's not cultural, it's not learned, it's hardwired. Your brain is constantly, unconsciously asking, where do I stand? Am I valued? Am I respected? And even though we're not hunting mammoths anymore, even though survival doesn't depend on tribal hierarchy, our brains haven't updated. We still crave recognition. We still need to know where we rank. We still feel that ancient anxiety when we think we're slipping down the ladder. Enter ranked gaming. Ranked games are brilliant because they take this invisible, abstract human need and make it crystal clear. There's no ambiguity. You're not wondering if people respect you. There's a number that tells you exactly where you stand. There's a badge, a border, a tier that everyone can see. It's a hierarchy distilled to its purest form, and your brain absolutely loves it. Here's why this matters. In real life, building status is slow and murky. You spend years grinding through school. You work your way up a career ladder, one small promotion at a time. You slowly earn respect in your community through countless small interactions that may or may not be noticed. And even when you do achieve something, the recognition is often delayed or invisible. You get a degree, but does anyone really care? You get promoted, but does your social standing actually change in a meaningful way? The feedback loop is stretched out over years, even decades, but in games, status is instant and undeniable. You win a match, you gain points immediately. You lose, you watch them drop immediately. Climb a rank, get a new badge, unlock a different border, immediate visual public proof of your value. And every single time you rank up, your brain releases dopamine. That little promotion notification, that rank up animation, that's not just pixels. That's a hit of neurochemical reward delivered straight to your pleasure centers. Your brain treats it like a real achievement because neurologically it is. You've demonstrated skill, you've overcome challenges, you've risen above others. From your brain's perspective, that's exactly what status is supposed to feel like. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not actually about the rank itself. The number doesn't matter in isolation. What matters is what that number represents socially. Because humans don't just want status, they want recognition. They want to be seen as valuable by their community. And in gaming, your rank is how you're seen. When you're respected in your gaming circle, when people see you as skilled, reliable, or competent, that triggers the same deep feeling of safety that our ancestors got from being valued members of their tribe. You're not just good at the game, you're a contributing member of a community. You belong, you matter. That's why losses hit so hard. It's not just about the LP or the MMR. It's that every loss feels like public failure. You're being judged by your teammates, by opponents, by anyone who looks at your profile. Even if they're strangers on the internet, even if you'll never meet them, your brain reads that judgment as social rejection. You're slipping down the hierarchy, you're losing value in the eyes of the group. And that triggers real, genuine anxiety because for hundreds of thousands of years, losing social value meant danger. This is why people flame their teammates. This is why losses feel so much worse than wins feel good. This is why someone can have a 60% win rate and still feel like they're struggling. Because every loss isn't just a lost game, it's a threat to your social standing. And ranked systems absolutely know this. They're designed to exploit it. Think about how ELO works, or MMR, or any ranking system in any competitive game. They're not just measuring skill, they're engineered to keep you in a state of perpetual striving. You're always matched against people roughly as good as you, which means you're always winning about half the time. You're always just barely holding your current rank, always one bad streak away from dropping, always one good streak away from climbing. You're never fully satisfied. You're never truly safe. There's always the next division, the next tier, the next milestone, and the system makes sure you're always just a little bit behind mastery. That's not an accident. That's the reward loop. That's what keeps you playing. Because if you climbed onto the top and stayed there easily, you'd get bored. If you dropped to the bottom and stayed there, you'd quit. But if you're constantly hovering right at the edge of progress, winning some, losing some, always almost there, your brain stays locked in. Rank decay makes this even worse. Stop playing and you literally lose status. The game punishes you for not grinding. Your standing deteriorates just by existing. So you log in, not because you even want to play, but because you're afraid of losing what you've built. It's a treadmill. And your status-seeking brain can't step off. But here's something important. Status in games isn't only about winning. Streamers build massive followings, not because they're the best players, but because they're entertaining. Content creators get recognition from creativity, editing, storytelling. Casual community leaders get respect from being helpful, funny, or positive. You can earn status through style, through unconventional strategies, through being the person who shot calls, or the one who keeps morale up, or the one who makes everyone laugh. The paths are different, but the psychology is identical. You're still seeking recognition. You're still building value in the eyes of a community. You're still feeding that ancient need to be seen and respected. And here's the part that really matters. This goes way beyond gaming. Humans aren't addicted to games. They're addicted to proof of value. Think about social media. Every like, every follow, every comment is a micro dose of status validation. You post something, you watch the numbers go up, your brain gets that same dopamine hit. Think about work. Promotions, titles, performance reviews. These are just ranked systems with slower feedback loops. You're still grinding for status, you're still climbing a ladder, you're still watching where you stand relative to others. Think about school. Grades, honor rolls, class rankings, same thing. Visible markers of where you stand in the hierarchy. The difference is that in most of real life, the status systems are invisible, or slow, or inconsistent. You don't always know where you stand. The feedback is muddy. The hierarchy is unclear. Video games make the invisible visible. They take that deep, primal need for status and recognition, and they put it right on your screen in high definition. You can watch your value increase in real time. You can see exactly where you stand. The feedback is instant, clear, and undeniable, and that's why we keep playing. Not because we're weak-willed, not because we're addicted to entertainment, but because these games are satisfying a fundamental human need that the rest of modern life often fails to satisfy. They give us clear hierarchies in a world that's increasingly flat and ambiguous. They give us visible progress in a life where growth often feels invisible. They give us communities that recognize our value in a society where so many people feel unseen. So yeah, ranked systems are designed to be addictive. Yeah, they exploit our psychology. Yeah, they keep us on treadmills chasing pixels and numbers that don't matter in any practical sense. But they matter to us because status matters to us. Recognition matters to us. Being valued by our community matters to us. And maybe understanding that, really understanding that, can change how we approach these games. Maybe you realize you're chasing something real, just in a simulated space. Maybe you recognize when the grind stops being fun and starts being compulsive. Maybe you find healthier ways to satisfy that need for recognition.